Hi there, this is philosopher and existential therapist Emmy van Deurzen to talk about the outpourings of public grief at the death of pop stars. In the past, we've seen it, for instance, with the death of Amy Winehouse and other people like Michael Jackson, or in the past, Elvis Presley even. But now we're finding it again with the death of David Bowie. So what happens when suddenly people become almost numb with grief, incapable of carrying on with their daily activities, their job, their work, when really they didn't know this person at all, and it seems nonsensical that they should feel this way. The same, of course, happened when Princess Diana died, and people felt a deep sense of personal grief when they had only identified with things she did and things she said, but didn't know her at all, and perhaps were even taken in with a particular image of somebody that wasn't entirely truthful. It doesn't matter really who that person is or who they are in reality. What matters is a person like that has become the vehicle for some deep emotions that we ourselves sometimes find difficult to experience. This is particularly so with pop stars. We all know this. There are things we have felt in our own lives in a very deep way that we found very difficult to articulate until a particular song or a particular phrase in a particular song suddenly caught our attention and kind of expressed the grief in our hearts and the grief in our minds that we were unable to even know about until that moment. So people who have written songs that have touched many people in that very deep, intimate, personal way have become like personal friends, personal acquaintances to us who have felt that way about the things they have written or the things they have sung. The same thing was very much true with Amy Winehouse as with David Bowie, that they have captured not just the imagination of individuals, but they have hooked into our frustrated feelings of disappointment with life, of loneliness, of isolation, our fears, our deepest griefs. All of that they have brought out in us, they have expressed for us, they have lived for us, they have shown us a channel through which to experience those things for ourselves. They've become our friends. They've become intimate with how we feel about the world and how we feel about other people. In some ways, we may even have felt that they, more than anyone we know in reality, have understood us and have resonated with us in a way that nobody else has ever done. So is it any surprise that when they die, we feel desperately lonely, we feel deeply upset? It is as if our best friend is gone. It is as if we've now finally become alone again with those deep feelings. And is it bad that we should want to express that? On the contrary, it is fantastic that we should be able to take that sense of having been understood, of having found somebody who's so deeply connected with us, and that we also discover that there are so many other people who have felt that same way, and that we can now, by joining with them in that communion, connect not just to the world, not just get out of our loneliness with those feelings, but actually discover that we are part of a recognition which is much wider than the recognition we felt we had with the author of those songs or that poetry or those words that they said in a political setting. It is great to have that vehicle for our deeply felt sense of grieving, and more importantly, for our desire and our yearning to belong with other people in that movement towards understanding, depth of emotion, intimate connection, and also, of course, in our recognition of the importance of death. Because what we suddenly are confronted with is that that kind of closeness, that kind of intimacy, that kind of sense of somebody understanding is not forever. Human living always comes to its limit. It always comes to an end. And recognizing that and sharing that powerful discovery that we are making once again with the other people who are also in the throes of that grief raises us to a higher level. It takes us out of our isolation into community with others, to transcend our ordinary lives and our ordinary frustrations, and makes us feel that we belong, we are with other people, we are able to live at depth rather than in a superficial way, in a trivial way, and therefore such experiences are fantastic gifts to us as people and to society. Culturally speaking, those moments are quite rare. We're normally quite controlled and reserved and very well regimented in the way we allow ourselves to feel or to act on our feelings. So let's not be too judgmental about it. Let's go with that moment. Let's allow that flow, and let's turn it towards a greater depth, a deeper understanding, and a better ability to live in a way that is meaningful to ourselves and that we can share with others as well.